Morning, guys. Happy Monday. Right, let's have a look at the homework. No, second years. Sorry, having a nightmare here, trying to... I never have my iPad open. Okay, so for the diagram shown, find, first of all, the area of the rectangle. Okay, so part A, the area of a rectangle is length by width. Always get in the habit of writing the formula first. And that way, if you make a mistake later, you'll get marks for the formula, providing it's right, obviously. So 6 by 4, so that is 24, and the units are centimeters squared for the rectangle. Find the area of the unshaded triangle. Okay, so area of a triangle in the table book, half AH, half. A is the base, and the base of the triangle is 6. And H is the perpendicular height, which means it's the distance from the base of the triangle to the highest point of the triangle in a straight line. And that distance is 4, okay? If I draw, I'll do it here. If I draw a line from the highest point of the triangle to the base of the triangle, dead straight, can you see that that red line I've drawn is the same length as the 4? Yep. So, half of 6 is 3, and 3/4 is 12 centimeters squared. And by subtracting the two areas, find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so we do 24 minus 12, and we get 12 centimeters squared for the pink part. Yep, that was okay. Right, this one. A triangle with a perpendicular height of 12 centimeters is divided into two triangles P and Q as shown. Find the area of triangle P. Okay. So area of triangle formula, same again, half AH. The base of that P triangle is 9, and the perpendicular height is 12. Is that 54? Yeah. So that is 54 centimeters squared, and that is the area of triangle P. The area of triangle Q is 2 times the area of triangle P. Okay, so that means the area of triangle Q is 108. Yeah, that's 2 times 54, isn't it? Yep. Okay, and then find the value of B, the base. Okay, so I'm going to have to use the area of a triangle formula, so half AH. We know the area of Q, it's 108. Half is half. The A is, well, they've called it B, so I'll change it, but that's what we're trying to find. And the height is the same, so 12. This is going to be the same as the one we did in class on Friday. I can do half multiplied by 12. So a half multiplied by 12 is 6b. And then we want to isolate the b. So we divide by 6 to cancel and divide by 6 to balance. So then we get that the base of that Q triangle is 18 centimeters. Okay. I'm actually going to need to... We're in March now. So today's homework is Monday, 1st March. Okay. Oh, rubbish. Okay, so that's there. Yeah, I don't know why this is still here. Sorry, I'm just going to delete this. Delete that. Right, so we're on book 1 still, but we're in the second area and volume chapter, or applied measure chapter. Yeah, so here we are. Okay, so circles. I'm not going to go through all the bits again because we've definitely done this before. I remember writing it in class. So there's loads of keywords there that you're supposed to know about a circle, but it's you should know all of those words already. So a disc or a circle is two-dimensional as well. So we're still in the two-dimensional shapes, and when you do two-dimensional shapes, there's always two things you can calculate. So you can calculate the area, or you can calculate the perimeter. Now, when we're talking about circles, we don't call it perimeter. It is the perimeter, but we call it circumference when it's a circle. Okay? The two formulas, and these are in the table book. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. And the circumference, which is the perimeter, is 2 pi r. Or in both of them stands for the radius. Okay, and you can see the radius here in the picture. So the radius is a line that goes from the center out to the circumference of the circle. Pi is, sorry. So we've talked about pi before. So pi is an irrational number. I'll move that now, sorry. Pi is an irrational number. I don't know if you remember irrational numbers, but irrational numbers are non-terminating, non-recurring decimals. So pi is a number that never ends. I'm just going to type it into my calculator here. So my calculator gives me 3.141592654. So because it never ends, you obviously can never write down the full number. So every version of pi we use is an approximation. It's where we cut off a few decimal points and use it. So there's 3 versions of it that we use, okay? And they're here. So pi equals 3.14 is pi to 2 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pi as 22/7 is actually 9 decimal places, approximately. I mean, that's what my calculator says, but there might be more. And this is 2 decimal places. And then the pi button on your calculator, which is, let me show you. So see it there, down here? So it's above the by 10 to the x. And it's in yellow, so you'd have to shift and press this button to get pi, okay? But that's where it is. And the pi button on your calculator, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's 9 as well. That's why I think maybe the 22/7 could be more decimal places than 9. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that these are the 3 versions we have available to us. Pi could be 3.14, pi can be 22/7, or you can use the pi button on your calculator. Either way, it's an approximation. Okay, they took the infinite amount of numbers after the decimal point and they decided to stop it somewhere. They just made a decision and said, right, this is where we're stopping it. Okay. The other thing, so there's 4 things. You can be asked to use 3.14, you can be asked to use 22/7, you can be asked to use the pi button on your calculator, and the 4th thing you can be asked is to leave your answer in terms of pi. Okay, and that's where you just leave pi, as in you don't replace it with any number, or you don't press the button on your calculator, you just leave it as pi. Okay, so the 2 formulas are written there again. I wrote them up above though, so you should have them. So we'll have a look at a question. So find the area and the circumference of a circle of radius 8 centimeters. Okay, and then they ask us for the 4 ways essentially. So I'll do this one because this might be handy to explain. Okay, so area first, and the area of a circle is pi radius squared, and just like with the other stuff, you always write your formula down first. Okay, so for part A, they wanted in terms of pi. So that means we just leave pi as pi, the radius is 8, and we're going to square it. So I'm going to type that into my calculator. I'm going to go shift pi bracket 8 bracket squared. Okay, and when you do that and you press equals, you get 64 pi. Okay, and the fact that it says in terms of pi means I should have a pi in my answer. Okay. B, they want us to use pi equals 3.14. So now it becomes 3.14 by 8 squared. Okay, so replace pi with 3.14. And when I type that into my calculator, I get 200.96 centimeters squared. The third one is using 22/7. So I get 22/7 in here. And again, that's going to go straight into my calculator. Okay, so it's not, I'm going to have to write the whole thing. So it's 201.142857 centimeters squared. And then the last one is using the pi button on my calculator. So this goes in the same way part A did. Okay, so we go shift and pi, bracket 8 bracket squared. And when you press equals, your calculator says 64 pi. So to turn it into a decimal, you need to use your SD button. And when I press that, I get 201.0619298 centimeters squared. Okay, so that's how you do it, and you can see the answers. I know the 64 pi is harder to figure out, but all the answers are pretty close, like almost 201 and then 201.1 and then 201.06. So they're all very, very close to 201. And again, this is because they're all different approximations. So you do the same thing then for the circumference. So circumference is 2 pi 8. You type that in and you leave it with the pi. Second one is 3.14. So it's 2, 3.148. So that's 50.24 centimeters. oh, that was B. C is 22 over 7. So it's 22 over 7 by 8. So 2 by 22 over 7 by 8. And again, we get kind of a mess of a decimal. So 2857149 centimeters. And then D is we use the pi button on the calculator. So this is typed in the same way as the first one. So 2 multiplied by shift pi multiplied by 8. But this time I want to SD it so that I can change it. And I get 50.26548.246 centimeters. Yeah? So that's how you use both formulas. The one on the left, don't forget to square it. There's a square in the formula. The one on the right is just a simple multiplication. It's 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by or. The way they complicate these questions is that they mess around with pi, okay? But you can see it's not complicated. Just do what they say, okay? Whatever they tell you to use for pi, that's what you use. In both formulas, there's an invisible multiplication. So it's pi multiplied by or squared. And then over here, it's 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by or. So it's multiplications that is happening there in the formulas. I don't think there's anything that's going to upset you there. So I might just... I think if you can use the formula, you can use the formula. Now there is, maybe this one where you have to go backwards. Will we try this one? So the area of a circle, so the fact that it says area of a circle, I write down my area of a circle formula. The area of a circle is 98.56 centimeters squared. Calculate the radius of the circle, and they tell us that they want us to use pi equals 22 over 7. Okay, so we know A. It is 98.56 equals, we know pi, they want us to use 22 over 7, and then we have r squared. We are trying to calculate r, so we need to isolate r. So that means we divide by 22 over 7 to get rid of the 22 over 7, and we do the same on the other side, 22 over 7. So calculator, fraction button in, 98.56 on the top line, and the bottom line is 22 over 7, and that gives me 31.36 equals r squared. Yep, and now I need, again, I want to isolate that or, so I need to, I need to get rid of the square. I do that with a square root because the square root will cancel the square, but if I square root on the right, I'll have to square root on the left. And when I square root that, I get a radius of 5.6 centimeters. Okay, so again, just using your algebra and the formula. Okay, so let's have a look and get a good one. Yeah, we'll do this one. So question 8 there, I'm going to take. So just note that we're into March, so new section. Yeah, I think, where's that one with the, we'll do the bicycle, so 14 there. And, okay, the next section here is just combining rectangles, squares, triangles, and discs, or circles. So we've done all this. So we did rectangle and square in the first chapter. We did triangles on Friday. And then we did circles today. So I'm going to give you one of these. Just one. And see how you get on. And we'll obviously mark it the next class. So I'm going to do the bridge there, number 2. All right? So it's 3 questions for homework. The shaded area, the bicycle, and the bridge. Okay? Right, let me know if you run into any problems. Thanks, guys.